For Creamer Media's Polity, I'm Sashnee Moodley. Researcher and analyst Professor Raymond Suttner joins me to discuss the DA, ANC or neither. Welcome, Professor.
Thank you.
What is your problem with the DA's emphasis on delivery and getting that right?
Well, you know, I've got no problem with them improving delivery and meeting their obligations as a government at various levels. If they were to become the leading force in national government, that would be good. And it also relates to disbursing of funds, that funds will go towards the targets which they are intended. But what I'm relating to is that they will never fill the place that the ANC once had in the hearts of many people. And that might sound sentimental. However, I think it's important to understand that you can be a technician, technocratic type of government. For example, when the military comes to power in coups d'etat, they usually say, you know, we will do this and we'll do that, and they appoint as Minister of Finance someone who's not political, but he just knows about numbers, things like that. Now, people are interested in more than numbers. They want to know that the government cares about them, that if something goes wrong in their community, one of the first people to be there and visit them and comfort them for their losses will be the member of the party that they support. Now, in the past, when there was some bereavement or someone got killed through some government accident or some other accident, Nelson Mandela would be there on the spot. Now, Winnie Madikizela Mandela, who used to be very controversial, people seem to now be forgetting it because she's older, but in the 1980s she was associated with the Mandela Football Club, the death of Stompie and all these things. Now, one of the strengths of Winnie Madikizela Mandela is that she would always be there. If some child died in the Karoo, she would go and comfort that person, whether they were black, whether they were white. I think you don't have that image of the DA as a party that is close to its constituency. It may be better for the community in quantitative terms, in that less money will go into the pockets of crooks or the Guptas if the DA comes into power. But I'm using words that may sound like they belong in a pulpit and things like this, words like compassion and passion. And I'm saying that the DA lacks compassion for the communities that is going to serve if it becomes the government of the day. Now, the ANC used to have a relationship with its constituency that was similar to that of a family. People, when Mandela and them were in Robben Island, many people would pray for the leaders in exile and on Robben Island at night, or they would have photographs of them. Obviously, they put them away if some police came or something like that, so that the ANC had people had a sense that they belonged to the ANC, even if they didn't join, because the ANC was part of their lives. And it started. The ANC wasn't a mass organization until the 1950s, as it happened. Other organizations were more mass organizations before them. But in the 1950s, when the organization became a mass organization, its membership rose from 8,000 to 100,000 during the Defiance campaign. Mandela and Tambo started a law firm. And even the way they acted as lawyers was different from other lawyers. Because when you go and see a lawyer, and you want to tell them a long story, the lawyer says, look, let's just concentrate on this, because they know that the court is not going to listen to the whole background. But if you are a politician who has got empathy, you will listen to the whole story, because you're concerned with helping these people beyond the particular legal case, which is your business. And it's reported that these people would be sitting on the stairs waiting till Mandela and Tambo came in there, because they really felt these lawyers were for them. And the ANC was like that for them. If they went to a leader like Luthuli or Kotane, people, they would not give advice straight away. If they went to them and said, what should I do? They would take their time listening, because they understood that the advice that they were giving might well lead to danger for the person or could improve their lives, and they wanted to be sure they were doing the right thing. Now the DA, I think I said in my column, may not object to being loved, but it's more concerned with ensuring that the cogs of government work well. Now, some people will say, but that's what government's about. It is. But if you want a government that cares about people who still live in poverty, who are still unemployed in huge numbers, if you want that, DA is not giving a signal that it actually cares about it beyond pressing the right buttons, feeding the right programs into computers, things like that. That's very impersonal. And I think that is not, the problem for that is that the ANC has occupied a particular place. ANC doesn't occupy it anymore. DA may win the elections or get a majority in alliance, but will not fill that place.
Now, you are against the ANC and the DA. So what are you for? Because you don't put forward a concrete alternative.
Yeah, it still doesn't sit completely with me that I'm against the ANC, because so much of my life has been with the ANC. What I feel is that we mustn't be fixated on the idea that we only have the electoral route for politics. Because in the history of South Africa, a lot of things have been done through social movements, through civil society more generally, and I think we need to consider whether achieving a sense of connection with the masses in South Africa will not better be done through a number of movements in civil society, faith-based organizations, professionals, civic organizations, youth organizations. Now, some of these organizations may not be in existence yet, but I think the ANC is not focusing anymore in politics between elections. So there's a gap in the sense that they are not, the ANC Youth League is not an organization really, doesn't pay attention to the youth. So that what one has to do is ask oneself, can one not make gains in terms of restoring clean government, in terms of restoring constitutionalism, reducing the graft and the violence, even eliminating it? I mean, we have last night a report of a break-in in the Hawks. Now, who in the Hawks, who are already crooked from what I can see, wants to steal files from the Hawks? I mean, it's laughable that what is supposed to be the most sensitive element of the South African Police Service can have someone come in with access cards and steal files which have to do with promotions in the Hawks. You know, one has no idea who could be, who's behind this, but it may be another one of these unsolved cases. So we need to have a number of people number of people coming together in a number of different ways, finding ways of talking to one another, not having the sense that we are powerless. What you've had now is people coming out into the streets in large numbers to bring Zuma down. But they come from a number of different backgrounds. Have they tried to relate to one another and find whether the post-Zuma period that they have in mind is the same if they come from Bishop's Court in Cape Town, or if they come from Khayelitsha, do they have the same reasons? And this is the sort of thing which will take time, but I think there are elements in place, and I would like to see this developed. I can't say what it should be. That should emerge organically from discussions between people.
Thanks for speaking with us, Professor.
Thank you.
That was Professor Raymond Suttner speaking to Creamer Media's Policy on the DA, ANC, or neither.